It's a beautiful good morning. It really is a beautiful good morning. Look at the sky. Very pale blue. It's quite cold. The birds have found the bird feeder. And Jack has seen the sheep, I think. Or he might have seen the fox. Jack, come here. Oh no, he sees two people walking up the hill. Oh, isn't his eyesight good? Now they've just disappeared. They've just disappeared. Wow. They're up by the old cottage there. I think it must be John. With one of his children, probably. He's a good boy. So I've just put my coffee down. I'm just here by the ash tree and the rebirthed rowan tree. I'm about to walk down the land with Jack. I want to show you some of the trees I've planted. I've managed to get 12 into the ground so far. But I have another, I think 4 or 5 to go. And then I got a present from one of my children of 3 beautiful cobnut trees, 3 different varieties as well. So I'm thinking and pondering over what parts of the land I'm going to plant those into. But there's also been a huge amount of cutting back going on, because as I'll show you soon, planting the kind of secondary planting of trees, which are the ones with a longer lifespan, I have to hard coppice the willow. So yes, I have been busy. So here are 4 of the trees that I've planted. You can see over there at the back, that's the green beech. And here at the front, 3 silver birch. Planted them in a little group, because they look lovely when they're grouped together like that. And then around the bottom of the trees, you can see where I've dug in lots and lots of compost, and then I've mulched it as well, to give the trees a really good start. But I've stuck in little pieces of red dogwood, and these should root pretty easily. And just to put it into context where those trees have been planted, just on the right of this path. This is the little path that my daughter and I spent, a couple of days cutting back during I think it was early autumn. And of course I've walked it well since then. So there's some very interesting aspects to this path now. And I'm beginning to see possibilities for more planting. But just here is where I've planted those. Of course you can see where I've set my cup of coffee. So looking back the ways at where I've planted those trees, I'm following the path. I'm coming past this beautiful goat willow. Again, where I've parked my coffee safely whilst I film. And I'm going to follow the path round this way and to the right. And I'll show you the next spot where I've planted. Okay, I've parked my coffee again. So before I started the planting, what I had to do was a lot of clearing and a lot of cutting back. Now, I've cleared around this I think this is a Great Western Cedar. Actually, yes it is. So I've cleared around this tree. Now you can see in the early days when I first planted it, this was a very sort of wind-blown land, you know, there was no shelter on it. So the tree in effect sort of tipped over. It was only a small tree and none of my trees were ever tied up to posts. So it sort of blew over a little bit, and you can see where it pulled up, and initially it pulled up some of the earth. But then it settled in, because these trees, in fact all trees, will find their own level, to settle in. So I've cleared all the brambles around it now, and I've cleared a path through to that beautiful green beach just where Jack is standing. And again, I've cleared some of the brambles. I only clear as much as what I ever need to clear. I don't go in and sort of do a mass clearance, because that doesn't make sense. And then the branches, the lower branches of the tree, you can see where I've sort of put them along the edge of the path line. Now I can come down and take the green bits off and use those for the compost toilet, because they're brilliant and they smell gorgeous. So I've cleared along here. Just going to pull back here so you can see. So as I come along the path now, there's space. You begin to see the beauty of the trees as they've grown in their magnificence. And down along here, you can see I've planted a little green beech in there. Of course, I had to hard coppice the willow, so that's been coppiced down to within about a foot. Now that would be called a stool now. And you can see I've given that green beech a really kind of a good wide berth. I mean, there's this piece of willow here which I'll take out, but not yet. It doesn't need to come out yet. Dug in lots and lots of compost. Again, a great start for the tree. And then just going slowly round on the other side of the path. Here we have 1, 2 beech trees, and this one, I think this is a bird cherry. Let me see, am I pointing in the right direction, because I haven't got my glasses on. I think it's there, yeah. So there's 3 trees planted here, and then again I've put some dogwood in around the birch, because that's going to give a beautiful effect. And I've put a little fern in down beside the bird cherry. And you can see where I've cut back willow and I've just stacked it there. And I've also cut back some bamboo and just laid the canes out there. So I'll collect those in a few months' time, because they'll be useful in the upper garden. So some of the willow that I've cut back, I've made like a little temporary sort of a fence. I've just stood it up in various positions there to just remind me of the delicacy of what's gone behind that, the planting. Now I'll take you to the next spot where I've planted trees. So now I'm retracing my steps. I'm going back up the path. That's where I came from, over there, to the east side of the gardens. And now I'm going up. I'm walking directly south, straight up. And again, you can see a cleared space. So all this willow that's growing in here, I mean, that's fantastic. But now is the year to coppice most of it and to plant the secondary trees. So here I've planted a green beech. And again, I've used the willow that I've cleaned up to sort of put a little fence around it, so it's not disturbed. So what I'll do is I'll walk out from here and walk up the path and then in along this new path. There's the beech. And over here is a little birch. Planted that. Now you can also see I've put chopped up pieces of wood around it. Again, just to remind me that there's something new planted in here, because during the winter and the early spring it's almost impossible to see the new plantings. Now you can see I've coppiced the willow hard back, again to within about a foot off the ground. It'll be interesting to see that come up from what is a stool. That is a willow stool. And there's other willow to take out, but I only take it out, I only coppice it as I need to. There's no point in going in and, all guns blazing and destroy things. That doesn't make any sense at all. So just take out what you need to take out when you need to take it out. So in the book A Cottage in 3 Acres, I refer to the willow and the birch as well as a pioneer tree. And of course there are quite a few different species of pioneer trees. And those are trees that don't last for longer than about 20, 30 years, something like that. Now willow of course can last a lot longer than that. It can last for several hundred years, I would expect, but that's only if it's regularly coppiced, because it's the root system that you need to keep the integrity of. Look at the sun shining on that willow over there. It's rather gorgeous. So, and then this is a big habitat pile that I've made to my right. Again, great for insects and birds and small mammals. Now I am going to be putting one of my, I'm thinking to myself, I'm just thinking as I talk, I think I'm going to be putting one of the hazel trees in here, one of the cobnuts, probably just over there, sort of about 10 feet or so behind the birch. Anyway, so I'll just show you now the rest of the planting. Now one of the trees I had to plant, in fact many of the trees I have ready to plant, are not from the garden centre by any means. There are trees that I've grown in pots. And I was delighted to be able to show you a weeping willow that I had grown in a pot from a cutting. I've had it up by the cottage for, I don't know, a couple of years now. And you can just see it there. It's one of those beautiful yellowy orangey willows. I think it's Pretensis is the name of it, but that is actually a weeping willow. So you can see I've given it a good bed of compost. I've put it in there. I've put some hay bees in behind it. You can see that. Those are just cuttings. And then here, by the side of the pond, I've also planted this bird cherry. And again, I put in lots and lots of compost, but I've also put some of the silt from the stream bed over there in around the top of it. So again, giving it a good start. The sun is rising now and it's rather gorgeous. And you can see the way it's picking out the tops of the trees there, all the way around. So I haven't just been planting trees. I'm up here now, just in the woodland above the pond. So the pond and the stream is over there. And this is some of the beautiful goat willow. And I've been working on the other side of it. There's an old ditch there. I've talked about this before and how I've got it to drain away. and literally run into the pond over there. I'll just walk you up here. I will have to come back for my coffee. I've just left it there in the tree. So again, I've been clearing the ground of brambles and some of the willow, because this is where one of the cobnuts, one of the hazel trees, is going to go. It's going to go in here, just about where Jack is there. And you can see over there the old ditch. I've managed to clear a lot of the silt out of the ditch and clear around these two beech trees. They've been in here for years, but they've struggled, so I'm hoping now that they will, you know, really come on. And also, I don't know if you can see this tiny little horse chestnut. I'm hoping that that now will come on. It'll have a lot more light. I think I'll take this willow out here as well. So it's all sort of helping the environment, helping the woodland as it emerges, as it grows into a sort of semi-adulthood. So you can see the ditch now. It's very clear water because I've done clearing along here right up as far as that little, quite ancient now, little wooden bridge across the ditch where the robin is, and above it slightly, so you can see the water running now, and it's coming down here. And then I've carved out this little niche in between the trunks of the goat willow where it can run off, and of course it goes into what is an old stone built drain over there, and then following a straight line almost into the pond. And I've managed to do that without disturbing or cutting any of the goat willow, or indeed any of the ivy. I think I've pulled a few little roots up, but not any of the major roots. And you can see I've got masses of beautiful leaf mould silt there along the edges. It's a little robin. He likes to follow me around. So I'll be doing a bit more clearing. But what I do is I kind of give it a week or two to settle before I go in then and clear a bit more. There's the robin, look. But you can see the movement of the water up there now. And if I move the camera around, so it's pointing south now up towards the cottage, and you can see all the clearing that I've done. And then here, just where I'm standing, a massive habitat pile, mostly of brambles. None of the brambles touching the ground, of course, so none of them will reroot. They will all die back. Tried and tested. I've done this over the past 16 years, and it saves me having to burn anything. I don't like burning stuff. I don't see the value in burning anything really, other than on the stove. Little robin's just gone in there. Oh, there he is. Look, can you see him peeking out? There he is. Oh yeah. He says that's quite a nice little house. So you see the value now of the habitat piles. So this is just a little reminder before the video finishes that Bealtaine Cottage is featured on tonight's show from the dock in Leitrim, which is the main art centre in Leitrim. And there's been a festival of trees, and the title is Whose Woods These Are. That's taken from the Robert Frost poem. So tonight, which is the final night of the festival, Bealtaine Cottage is featured in quite a short little film, but I think you might enjoy it. And if you can go on and leave a comment, that would be great, because the festival does need to have a bit more support than what it's getting at the moment. So it'd be lovely to see as many of you as possible at the premiere. It premieres at 8 o'clock Irish time, that's Greenwich Mean Time, I think. And I'm going to be watching it, and there's also a little chat facility, you know, where you can go on and chat. So any of you who want to leave a little comment or, you know, go on to the chat, that's wonderful. I look forward to seeing you all there at 8 o'clock. And then tomorrow, of course, is the beautiful, incredible, astonishing winter solstice and the Great Conjunction. And there's going to be a massive amount of change going on from this point. I can just feel it. It's exciting. I'm feeling very charged, very excited by it all. So blessings to you all, and I'll see you later.